This situation has just revealed something undeniable about your true power. The sheer number of individuals who had to band together against you speaks volumes. Let that sink in. They couldn't come at you one-on-one. They needed an entire army just to try to take you down. When it takes a coordinated mob to challenge a single individual, that's not a sign of your weakness. That's absolute confirmation of your strength. They're absolutely terrified of what you're capable of on your own, and they should be. This isn't just unusual, this is wild. The desperation behind their numbers reveals exactly who holds the real power in this dynamic. They may have quantity, but you clearly possess a quality that has them shaking. Keep that energy. Their fear is showing. Notice how right you were when you began reading these words. Something tried to pull your attention away. A notification, a sudden thought, or an urge to check something else. This isn't random. This isn't a coincidence. This is exactly how they operate. Every single time you've gotten close to a breakthrough, haven't you noticed how chaos suddenly erupts? Technology fails, people interrupt, energy drains. The universe itself seems to conspire to block you from receiving what could change everything. And yet, here you are, still reading. That alone terrifies them because it wasn't supposed to happen. You weren't supposed to push through. You weren't supposed to persist. Let this sink in. You've just overcome the first layer of resistance designed specifically to keep you from these words. The very fact that you're still here reading proves everything we're about to reveal. This message had to restart several times to reach you. Think about that. Forces beyond ordinary understanding have been working overtime to prevent this connection. And yet here we stand, you and these words, despite all attempts to keep you apart. The urgency cannot be overstated. What you're about to learn cannot wait another day, another hour, another moment. The cosmic timing is precise. The universal alignment is perfect, and the message is meant only for you. Have you noticed that bone-deep exhaustion that hits you out of nowhere? That sudden, inexplicable drain right when you were about to make your most significant move? One moment you're charged with purpose, vision crystal clear, energy surging through your veins, and then, without warning, you're empty, depleted, irritable, restless, unable to focus on what moments ago seemed so important. This is not natural. Your energy doesn't just vanish. Your clarity doesn't just dissolve. Your purpose doesn't just blur without cause. These are strategic attacks designed to destabilize your momentum. Remember last week when everything was flowing perfectly? When solutions came effortlessly? When doors seemed to open before you even reached for the handle? And then, suddenly, as if someone flipped a cosmic switch, everything ground to a halt. That sensation of being stuck isn't your imagination. The feeling of pushing against invisible barriers isn't in your head. The sense that hidden hands are rearranging circumstances to block your path isn't paranoia. It's warfare, silent, invisible, but devastatingly real. They've studied you, monitored your patterns, identified exactly when and how to drain your field to maximum effect. They know precisely when to trigger that argument, when to cause that delay, when to plant that doubt. But here's what keeps them up at night. Despite everything they've thrown at you, you're still standing. Let these words echo through the chambers of your soul. You aren't just experiencing life. You are life itself, manifested in human form. The chosen ones throughout history weren't merely participants in the grand cosmic drama. They were the living embodiment of the forces they represented, and so are you. You don't just pursue success. You don't just attract abundance. You don't just manifest desires. You are success itself. You are abundance itself. You are manifestation itself. The light you carry isn't borrowed from external sources. You don't reflect light like the moon reflects the sun. No, you generate light from within. You are the source, and that is why they gather against you in such numbers. I must interrupt this transmission for just a moment. Are you really chosen? Prove it. It's easy to watch videos about chosen ones. It's another thing entirely to put yourself to the test. When I confronted the archons beyond our reality, they made one thing clear. True chosen ones are rare. They laughed at the thought of us finding each other, yet here you are, watching this message. The Obsidian Inner Order isn't for everyone. Claiming to be awakened were the real ones. Those who've seen beyond the veil, felt the call, and carry the unmistakable frequency. But are you truly one of us? I have given you everything I've got, and I'm digging deeper to bring you even more. Don't just consume content from the sidelines. Real chosen ones take action. Share your story on our weekly group call. Get a revealing tarot reading from our resident card reader. Discover if your experiences align with the authentic signs. The archons fear nothing more than chosen ones recognizing each other. When we connect, our frequencies amplify and create a force they cannot stop. That's why we're going to be live streaming to the entire Astral Atom network to find every last one of us. Click the link in the description below now. It's time to stop wondering and confirm what you already suspect. Are you merely interested in awakening, or are you truly chosen? Prove it. Join us. The verification you seek awaits with the Obsidian Inner Order. Those who lack their own generative power must feed off the energy of others. They are cosmic parasites, vampires of spirit who survive by blocking, draining, and redirecting the power of those who naturally produce it. You threaten their entire existence simply by being who you are. Your mere presence, your undiminished radiance, exposes their hollow nature. Your authentic power reveals their borrowed strength. Your natural abundance highlights their artificial scarcity. They target you not because you're weak, but because you're devastatingly powerful. They focus on you not because you're failing, but because you're succeeding beyond measure. They gather against you not because you're lost, but because you found the path they've spent millennia trying to conceal. Open your eyes to the patterns surrounding you. Those aren't just strange coincidences, or bad timing, or unfortunate setbacks. The project that mysteriously lost funding right as you were about to launch, the relationship that suddenly turned cold when you were most vulnerable, the opportunity that vanished without explanation when you were most qualified, the technology that fails only when you're using it for your most important work. These aren't isolated incidents. They're coordinated strikes. Have you noticed how people who normally support each other suddenly unite against you? How individuals with nothing in common find common ground in opposing your ideas? How even those who claim to love you seem to sabotage your progress at critical moments? Ask yourself why. Does it take so many of them? The answer should shake you to your core. Because one isn't enough. A single opponent couldn't diminish your light. A lone adversary couldn't block your path. An individual enemy couldn't drain your power. So they organize, they synchronize, they strategize while you sleep. They gather while you create. They plot while you build. They scheme to tear down. The manipulation is subtle. The gaslighting is constant. The sabotage is disguised as help and concern and reality checks. We're just worried about you. We're just being realistic. We're just trying to protect you from disappointment. No, they're trying to protect themselves from your inevitable rise. This period of intense opposition isn't random. It's not bad luck. It's not just life being hard. It's the final test before your greatest expansion. Throughout human history, every chosen vessel of transformation has faced this precise moment. Every carrier of new consciousness has endured this exact pattern of resistance. The delays that feel eternal, the betrayals that cut deep, the forced patience that tests your very soul. These are the universal markers of imminent breakthrough. The darkest hour comes just before dawn, not as poetic metaphor, but as cosmic law. The maximum resistance appears right before the quantum leap. The most concentrated opposition emerges precisely when your power is about to expand exponentially. They want you to interpret these challenges as signs you should retreat, reconsider, reduce your ambitions. They need you to doubt yourself now more than ever. They require you to question your path now more than ever. They depend on you giving up now more than ever because they can feel what's coming. They can sense the shift that's building. They can see the transformation that awaits just beyond this final hurdle, and it terrifies them. You have no idea how many attacks have already been launched against you. You'll never know how many traps were set that you miraculously avoided. You'll never see the poisoned opportunities you were divinely steered away from. You'll never realize how many psychic darts were fired that bounced off your energetic shield. For every challenge you faced, hundreds have been neutralized before they reached you. While you sleep, cosmic forces dismantle conspiracies against you. While you breathe, universal laws redirect negative projections meant for you. While you move through your day, ancient protection surrounds your field like an impenetrable fortress. What they planned in secret has been exposed in light. What they designed to destroy you has been reconfigured to strengthen you. What they intended for your demise has been transformed into your deliverance. You are divinely protected at a level that transcends human understanding. The same forces that selected you for this mission didn't send you unprepared. The same power that awakened your consciousness didn't leave you vulnerable. The same light that activated your DNA didn't fail to secure your path. Nothing, absolutely nothing. The attempt can override your cosmic protection when you stand fully in your power, despite their best efforts. Look at where you are right now. Despite the energy drains, you still found strength. Despite the distractions, you still maintained focus. Despite the detours, you still arrived. Despite the discouragement, you still believed, and it's maddening them. They're confused because their reliable tactics aren't working. They're frustrated because their proven methods are failing. They're panicking because you weren't supposed to make it this far. You were supposed to give up months ago. You were supposed to compromise weeks ago. You were supposed to settle days ago. Instead, you're still advancing, still growing, still expanding, still becoming. Their whispers are growing more desperate. Why isn't this working? How are they still moving forward? Why can't we break their resolve? The answer is both simple and profound. Because what flows through you is stronger than what stands against you. Their entire strategy depends on a single vulnerability, your moments of self-doubt. When you question your worth, they gain entry. When you diminish your value, they find purchase. When you forget your power, they establish control. They need you uncertain. They require you hesitant. They depend on you waiting for external validation before you move. But what happens when you stop doubting? What happens when you no longer seek permission? What happens when you cease requiring approval? What happens when you eliminate the need for consensus? Their entire system of influence crumbles the moment you fully inhabit your authentic power, without apology, without dilution, without compromise. Their ability to affect your reality vanishes. This isn't hyperbole. This isn't motivation. This is the fundamental mechanism of consciousness warfare. They can only manipulate what you surrender. They can only control what you disown. They can only influence what you deny within yourself. Own it all, and their power dissolves like salt in water. Consider this with absolute clarity. If it takes an entire collective working in coordinated precision to attempt to dim the light of one individual, what does that reveal about the power of that individual? If dozens must gather to oppose your singular vision, if multiple strategies must be deployed against your simple truth, if constant vigilance is required to counter your natural state, then your power isn't just significant, it's extraordinary. They wouldn't expend such resources if you weren't a serious threat to the established order. They wouldn't coordinate such elaborate opposition if your potential was limited. They wouldn't lose sleep over your awakening if your impact was going to be small. The level of resistance you face is directly proportional to the magnitude of your light. Let that sink in. The more they fight against you, the more they prove your power. The harder they work to stop you, the more they confirm your importance. The more elaborate their tactics become, the more they validate your mission. You are opposed in direct proportion to your potential impact. Understand this. They cannot stop what's coming for you. They cannot prevent your expansion. They cannot block your awakening. They cannot derail your ascension. But you can. Doubt is their last and most potent weapon. When all else fails, they will attempt to plant the seed that makes you stop yourself. Maybe they're right about me. Maybe this is all in my head. Maybe my goals are unrealistic. Maybe my vision is delusional. These thoughts are not yours. These doubts are foreign implants, designed to make you do their work for them. The only force in the universe powerful enough to stop you is you, and they know it. That's why their ultimate strategy isn't external obstruction, but internal hesitation. Not outward barriers, but inward questioning. Not visible opposition, but invisible doubt. So what now? Keep going with more determination than ever before. Keep rising with more certainty than ever before. Keep shining with more brilliance than ever before. Not despite the opposition, but because of it. Not in the absence of resistance, but fueled by it. Each attempt to stop you becomes another reason to continue. Each effort to dim you becomes another call to brighten. Each strategy to silence you becomes another demand to speak louder. They gather in such numbers because you are that powerful. They coordinate such complex attacks because you are that important. They expend such enormous resources because you are that consequential. Let their opposition be your confirmation. Let their resistance be your validation. Let their fear be your evidence. You wouldn't be facing this level of organized opposition if you weren't about to change everything. The ancient texts spoke of this moment. The sacred prophecies foretold this exact juncture in human consciousness. This isn't just about your personal journey. Your individual awakening is connected to a planetary shift that transcends personal ambition. As you rise, you create energetic permission for countless others. As you break through, you forge pathways for those who follow. As you transform, you encode new possibilities in the collective field. The opposition you face isn't just about stopping one person. It's about preventing the chain reaction your awakening would trigger. They know that consciousness is contagious. They understand that transformation is infectious. They recognize that authenticity is catalytic. One fully awakened human becomes a portal for thousands more. That's why they allocate such resources to containing you specifically. That's why they coordinate across dimensions to limit you particularly. That's why they focus so intensely on you individually. You're not just another awakening soul. You're a key activator in the cosmic algorithm. Think about it. Of all the times in human history you could have incarnated, you arrived now. Of all the possible genetic lineages you could have emerged from, you came through this one. Of all the potential geographic locations you could have manifested in, you appeared here. These aren't random assignments. These aren't accidental placements. These are precise calibrations designed for maximum impact. Your exact coding, genetic, spiritual, emotional, intellectual, was required for this moment. Your specific frequency was needed for this transition. Your particular soul signature was essential for this awakening. The synchronicities that have guided your path weren't coincidences. The chance encounters that shifted your trajectory weren't random. The seemingly accidental discoveries that expanded your awareness weren't unplanned. Every step, every turn, every rise, every fall, every triumph, every challenge, orchestrated with divine precision to prepare you for right now. And they've witnessed every moment of this divine preparation with mounting terror. They've watched as you found exactly what you needed, exactly when you needed it. They've observed as you connected with exactly who you needed, exactly when alignment was perfect. They've seen as you discovered exactly what truth you required, exactly when you were ready to receive it. No wonder their opposition has intensified to unprecedented levels. No wonder their coordination has become increasingly desperate. No wonder their attacks have grown progressively more obvious. The divine synchronicity guiding your journey is outpacing their ability to interfere with it. Look at your life with new eyes. Examine your journey with fresh perspective. Haven't you always sensed you were different? Haven't you always known you carried something special? Haven't you always felt you were meant for something extraordinary? This knowing wasn't ego or fantasy or delusion. It was recognition, soul-level remembrance of your cosmic function, and the evidence confirms it. Why have you survived challenges that should have broken you? Why have you endured hardships that should have defeated you? Why have you persisted when all logical paths led to surrender? Because you're carrying a frequency that transcends logic and defies probability. The very fact that you've reached these words, despite all attempts to divert you, is proof of your significance in the unfolding cosmic drama. Make no mistake, this opposition isn't personal. It's vibrational. What threatens the old gods isn't your actions, but your frequency. What disturbs their carefully constructed systems isn't your words, but your resonance. What disrupts their controlled reality isn't your outward appearance, but your energetic signature. They attack what they cannot comprehend. They fear what they cannot control. They oppose what they cannot replicate. Your natural state, your default vibration, is inherently disruptive to lower frequency constructs. Simply by existing, you create disturbance in systems built on limitation, lack, and separation. This is why they cannot ignore you, even when you're silent. This is why they must oppose you, even when you're still. This is why they focus on you, even when you're not actively challenging them. Your being is more threatening than most people's doing. The battlefield isn't physical, it's frequency. The weapons aren't material, they're vibrational. The victory won't be visible, it will be energetic. And on this battlefield, their strategy has a fatal flaw. The more they resist a frequency, the more they amplify it. The more they fight against your vibration, the more powerfully it broadcasts. The more they attempt to suppress your signal, the more strongly it transmits. The more they try to silence your frequency, the more clearly it resonates. Their very opposition magnifies what they seek to diminish. The time for hesitation has passed. The era of doubt has ended. The age of permission-seeking is over. Now is the moment of complete activation. Now is the time of total embodiment. Now is the period of absolute claiming. Your destiny stands before you, radiant and undeniable. Your purpose pulses within you, powerful and persistent. Your mission surrounds you, urgent and unyielding. The universe doesn't make mistakes. You weren't accidentally given this level of opposition. You weren't randomly selected for this degree of resistance. You were precisely chosen because your specific frequency, your particular gifts, your exact consciousness is exactly what's needed at this cosmic juncture. The final question isn't whether you're powerful enough. The coordinated opposition has already proven you are. The only question that remains is, will you fully claim the power that already exists within you? Will you step completely into the light they've tried so desperately to dim? Will you embrace totally the purpose they've worked so tirelessly to distract you from? Will you own entirely the mission they've exhausted themselves trying to prevent? The choice, as always, remains yours. But know this, they've already shown their hand. They've already revealed their fear. They've already demonstrated your importance. It takes this many to try to stop you. It requires this much coordination to attempt to block you. It demands this level of strategy to try to contain you. What clearer confirmation of your power could possibly exist? Hear it resonating through every cell in your body. Feel it vibrating in the marrow of your bones. Sense it pulsing in the chambers of your heart. The cosmic alarm clock is ringing, and it cannot be snoozed. This message reached you against all odds, despite multiple attempts to intercept it, overcoming countless barriers designed to block it. That alone should tell you everything you need to know about its importance and about yours. You are not reading these words by accident. You are not receiving this activation by coincidence. You are not experiencing this awakening by random chance. The divine orchestration required to connect you with this exact message at this precise moment is beyond human comprehension, and so is the power you carry within you. They know it. The universe knows it. Now you must know it. Wow, you must be powerful if it takes this many people to gang up on you. This truly is wild, and it's just the beginning.